BB851, turn right heading 180. 14 Papa, turn right 245, report localizer established 27.
It's hard to exactly define what an airline's future consists of, but it's even harder when we are currently in the midst of the biggest pandemic we've seen in decades. Today, I thought, given it being a slow week, I'd take a look at how the industry will move forward, with the focus centering around American Airlines. Now that's taking a look at their fleet, route expansion, and how they plan on battling the pandemic. Beginning with their Boeing 737 MAX, which has made headlines for a while now. American Airlines at this point will be the first carrier to welcome back the 737 MAX to commercial service at the end of December for a week-long trial period that'll run into the new year. The service, which is from Miami to New York, will enable American Airlines to better understand how customers react to the 737 MAX, and in addition, see how it performs rather than rushing them all back to service. Despite it also being the holiday season, many people are unable to fly as it is, so it isn't exactly like demand will warrant an immediate return of all 737 MAX aircraft in their operations. Moving across now briefly towards their route network, which has been severely impacted. If the carrier hasn't already removed itself from certain operations, it is doing so even more, with heavy service reductions now being put in place at London from the United States due to the current weakened demand. It's a time, had we not been going through a pandemic, that American Airlines would be switching to their seasonal services, which would see a bump up in getting people home and or away for the festive period. Now, though, they are reducing their operations. The carrier has said specifically that JFK, Charlotte and Chicago will not see any flights operated through to Heathrow for the month of December. This originally equated to 16 weekly flights from these destinations, which have now been completely removed. As for passengers wishing to fly to London or needing to for reasons that are permitted according to the government's guidelines, they'll need to find another carrier to do it with. Services across the world are also being evaluated following the airline making changes all the way back in March, with suspensions across their network. As for the future, American Airlines will continue to evaluate the demand and also travel restrictions that are implemented by governments, and also monitor a vaccine to better understand when they can return to certain destinations, or also readjust their operations accordingly. International change fees can be a major thing for customers, especially when it comes to customers needing to adjust their flights given a current global pandemic. Often airlines will charge in the hundreds for customers to actually change their flights. However, now American Airlines has announced it is eliminating these fees. However, there's a catch. If you're flying in basic economy, this new policy where change fees for, say, first class, business class, premium, economy, and also economy, Airlines has announced it is eliminating these fees. However, there's a catch. If you're flying in basic economy, this new policy where change fees for, say, first class, business class, premium, economy, and also economy for flights originating in North America and South America doesn't apply. It's a fantastic result for the majority of travellers needing to adjust their flights, which have already had to cost them, say, a fortune. With many out of a job, though, the decision to adjust this is also a welcomed one for people's bank accounts and can easily reduce stress. Other change fees for the likes of award miles and redeposit have also been changed, which is a brilliant result for those travelling, and many will hope that many more carriers will follow in the footsteps of American Airlines. As for the American Airlines fleet, this is already changing considerably with the immediate retirement earlier of the Airbus A330 series. If anything, currently the airline is going through something very similar to like that of other airlines within the United States, and that's streamlining. While airlines would have always needed to do so, the global pandemic has accelerated the process. The carrier operates the Boeing 777s and also the Boeing 787s currently for its long-haul operations. The 777-200s are easily the oldest, with an average age of some 20 years. However, as for the future, they plan on welcoming in additional Boeing 787 aircraft, so right now, at this point in the future decade, unless something changes, they'll operate with 2 long-haul jets. On top of the additional 787s and 787-9s, they also plan on welcoming on 50 of the A321 XLRs, which will replace the now aging 757s and 767s. The XLRs are still scheduled to arrive between 2022 and 2025. What are your thoughts on the future within American Airlines? Is there anything you'd be expecting to see when it comes to the future of the carrier, maybe fleet, route network, or their eventual recovery from the pandemic? Feel free to drop your thoughts below in the comment section, and if you'd like me to focus this series of videos on any other carrier, do be sure to also let me know in the comments. Thanks once again for your continued support. Please do stay safe, and I will see you all in the next video.